Reporting from the Sunshine State, broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fisherman Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
Good morning, good morning. Thank you for taking the time to join us. It is the Fishing in Florida Show. I am your host, Riscala, and we have got a special show coming up for you today. Lots of rain all over the place. My gosh, woke up this morning and it just was a gloomy day. And then I looked up on the radar and wow, not a whole lot of places you're going to be able to go today. So we'll get into that in just a minute. This morning, I believe I have Carolyn with me. I have Carolyn Stash with Atlas Trax. Good morning, Carolyn. Uh-oh, I can't hear you, Carolyn. Hang on a minute. All right, let's try that again. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
There we go. I one of the settings from prior forgot to change it. How are you doing, my dear?
And you are 100% correct. It is so gray out. I don't see any hope of any sun anywhere. And looking at the flags, I see some wind out of the north, and it's going to be not a good boating day today.
Yeah, looking at the radar today. Northern Florida is getting pounded. There is some serious storms going on. Jacksonville, Tallahassee, Apalachicola. They are really getting pounded. The entire west coast of Florida is going to be covered at one time or another during the day today. The east coast is a little bit clearer, but however, it looks almost like there's a depressional risk. When I look at this radar, it looks very similar to a depression or what they might call a disturbed area of weather. So it doesn't look like it's going to be a good day to be outdoors today, but there's a lot of other things we can do. The beaches are open for those of you who are crazy enough to want to go on a day like today, but they are limited and there are restrictions. You should go online and check which beaches are open, what restrictions are being followed. Just to be sure, because you may end up going somewhere and then not end up being able to get in there. According to NOAA, the National Weather Service, the winds will be 15 to 20 knots today with gusts around 25. Seas are going to be 2 to 4 feet with an occasional seas to 5 feet. The intercoastal waters will be a moderate chop. Again, those of you who are brave enough to go out and do this thing. Tides today are going to be, 4:08 a.m. has already happened, a low tide today. 10:07 coming up at high tide, and then the next low tide will be 4:11 p.m. This afternoon, and then the next high tide will be 10:48 p.m. tonight. Great info, but on a day like today, I don't know how much use it can be. Did you do any fishing this last week, my dear?
Well, no, not a chance to go out, but I had some pretty exciting news. There was a tournament out of St. Augustine yesterday, and one of the winner got a over 60-pound kingfish, which is a record fish for that area.
Holy smokes.
It was pretty amazing, and it was actually one of our clients that has a few of our trackers, so I was able to kind of keep an eye on him during the day. It was a lot of fun to see them get a little prize money.
I really didn't know that they got that big. 60 pounds.
I've seen 50-pounders, but 60 was big. It took 3 guys to hold it up. I saw some photos on Facebook.
Wow. What a fight that must have been. Oh, my goodness. And do you have any idea what they were fishing? What bait they were using? Were they using lures or natural? Or?
Yeah, knowing those guys at Young Gun Fishing, they probably had a whole bait pen full of live bait. They're known for flying kites like Mike does, and also putting out flat lines. So I'm sure that they had enough live bait to go around, and I'm sure that fish hit that bait pretty hard.
And I know that you've mentioned you've done kite fishing a couple of times. How's it turned out for you?
Well, actually, when I started learning kite fishing, it was kind of funny because you deploy a kite, you think as a little girl or, out flying a kite, but when you put them off of a boat, they seem to spiral a lot and wrap around things. So, and go right into the water quickly. So I've gotten a lot of kites wet. I've wrapped them around the outriggers on a boat. And for listeners that don't know, that's a pole that you stick out to make your fishing line spread out to look like resemble a line of bait. I've wrapped it around the end of that, which is about 20 feet away from me to try and get it back. And once your kite gets wet, you have to wash it, wait for it to dry. But now we're getting pretty good. We can deploy the kites and with some tips from Mike, and we're able to make them fly a certain way by putting little leads, squeeze little leads on the edge of them, and now we're doing a little bit better.
Yeah, Mike Simcoe with kitefishing.com. If you have questions, go to kitefishing.com. Mike Simcoe's, again, I can't say enough about the fishing community, especially here in South Florida. Just wonderful people, ready to help each other in any way, shape, or form that they're able to. Mike Simcoe's one of those people. He gives out all kinds of information, tells you. When you mentioned about kites, when I first thought about kites and fishing, I thought, how silly. I thought of kites as when I was a kid, we used to fly kites. I didn't realize that, okay, it's only the name that's similar. That's where the similarity stops. These are completely different things than what you saw as a kid. They are controllable. There's just a whole lot of variables to the kites that are used for fishing versus a kite that you fly as a child. And I really thought it was, when I first heard about it, I thought, well, that's kind of goofy, isn't it? You're going to fly a kite on a boat? Why do you go through all the trouble of going out in a boat if you're going to fly a kite? I mean, that's how I was ignorant. I really didn't know. But then I met Mike, and Mike educated me, and I went, oh, my goodness. They can be relatively simple, or they can be pretty sophisticated, just really up to the individual and what they want to do with them. So I'm glad that you're learning. And again, if you any of you out there want more information, kitefishing.com. Mike Simcoe's the guy. He's one of the best, if not the best in the area. Knows about them, all the different kinds, all the different things that you can do. It really is, it's nice to know people like that who are willing to share. They share their information. It cuts the learning curve down greatly. Anyway, yeah.
Let me tell you what's really strange. If you want to fly a kite and there's no wind, well, what do you do? Mm-hmm. You actually have to bring a tank of party helium from the party store and helium balloons, and you actually have to blow up a balloon that's larger than the surface of the kite, then attach it to the kite with a little netting, and now you have to hope that the helium is going to bring your kite up in the sky, which is such a process. Another good thing with the balloons, too, is if you do lose the wind and the kite falls into the ocean, it won't sink. So that's the only way you can go back and get the kite. But it's such a process. And these folks that are doing it for tournaments, like Mike and some of the other guys, boy, they put a lot of time into it.
And he's done some. I have a video on, while I'm at it, let me mention it. If you go to Facebook, and you'll find the Fishing in Florida show on Facebook. You look down our timeline, you'll see that there's a video with Mike there, and he's explaining some of the things that he does with the kites. And while you're on Facebook, if you would give us a like, that would help us retain relevancy in the searches. And while I'm thinking about it, because my memory goes quickly here, I walk into a room and can't remember what I walked into for. This next week, I have been told by the developer our app is ready. Our app is done. But this next week, it will be in the stores, and I'm told it should be around Wednesday, Thursday, somewhere in there. It will be under our network name, which is WCET. I'm not sure exactly how they're going to list it, but I know it's going to be WCET, maybe WCET FM. It just depends on what the stores are going to allow them to use. But the app is ready. It's very simple. There's no push notifications. There's no commercials. There's none of that stuff. It's just it's a very basic app. It allows you to listen to the network, really. And it will be one of the easiest ways for you to listen to us. In the meantime, you can go to our home network, which is WCETFM.com, and listen to us there. You can listen to us off of Facebook. If you click on Contact Us off of Facebook, that gets you to the live server. And now with the app, it'll be a new way. And one of our affiliates down in Miami, Yacht Rock Radio, their sister station, which doesn't come to mind right now, they are tune-in stations. So you can find us on TuneIn if you go down to Marina Rock, I believe it is, Marina Rock Radio down in out of Miami. So all the affiliates combined, we probably reach several thousand people, I think. It's hard to say because we have some terrestrial stations, small terrestrial stations that transmit for us, and they do probably 1,000 each, and we've got 3 of them, so that's 3,000 there. And then the internet is unlimited. We probably show anywhere around 1,000, 1,500 per show off of the internet itself. So we're probably about 4,000 people listening at any given time around the United States, majority of which are more than likely here in South Florida, because we based out of South Florida. I mean, we try to do everything for the South Florida area. although I have different people call in. We've had Captain Clyde call in. He's out of Louisiana. Let's see, Captain Ron's called in. He's out of one of the Carolinas, I think South Carolina or North Carolina. So we do hear from other places, but we are kind of focused on the South Florida area. Anyway, so no fishing today. So today would be a day for, if Pam were on, she would say, today's maintenance day, you guys. You got to pull the rods out, clean them off, rinse them down, oil them up, get ready, get your rigs ready, because when it rains, it pours, and then as soon as it's done pouring, we got sunshine. This is one of the craziest places when it comes to rain. This is one of the crazy. I had a similar experience when I was in Colorado, except it was snow. You know how it can look? It'd be real sunny here in Florida, and it just looks beautiful. And in 15 minutes, it looks like it goes from that to looking like the world is coming to an end. Thunder, lightning, wind. I had a similar experience in Colorado, but I was in the Air Force at the time, and I walked to the mail station on base to get my mail. And as I walked back, I felt this little chill all of a sudden. And when I walked to the mail station, it was probably 65 degrees. It wasn't anywhere near cold enough to snow. But in the span of about 15 minutes that I was in there and the walking that I was doing, it went from that down to around 38, 32, somewhere in there. It was crazy, and it started snow flurrying, and this was the end of May, beginning of June almost, and it was snow flurrying. So it was, we have our crazy weather here with the rain. Well, they have crazy weather there with the snow. I'd rather have the rain. I'll deal with the rain. I'm not a cold man, that's why I can't be up there. You do all right in the cold, Carolyn?
I do not do all right in the colder scala. I grew up in Connecticut. I was a horse woman. I had to be out breaking buckets of frozen ice in the minus temperature and exercise those horses. So I handle it up there, and not so much down here. But we get out. We get out to Colorado once a year. Usually do a little skiing, and I know exactly what you're talking about. I worked out in Colorado in the summertime, and yeah, it snows, and then all of a sudden it goes back up to 70 degrees. Strangest thing.
It's where I was at. I was in Denver at the time, and Denver's at the basin. It's almost like a bowl. There's mountains all around, so in a way it acts like an insulator, but in another way it acts like an accelerator, because once the whatever it is gets over the mountains and passes the mountains, well, now you're almost in a trapped area, and that's why things can change so quickly there. I just relate the two of them because, like here, today is gloomy, but I've seen days like today where you go, oh my gosh, nothing's going to happen. Now today is for sure, nothing's going to happen because according to the radar, it's just everywhere. But I've seen days like today where you start out in the day and it's all gloomy and raining and thunderstorming, and then literally within a half an hour or 45 minutes, it's all gone. It's sunshine. It's like so unfortunately, today's not going to be one of those days. According to the radar, it's going to be everywhere. We're nowhere to hide, unless you want to fish under a bridge or something like that. I used to do that when I would get really, really, I wanted to go fishing as a kid so badly, and we'd have those summer days where we get into the pattern where it would rain every afternoon. There's a couple of saltwater canals not too far from me, and I'd fish under the bridge.
Oh, absolutely. And it's funny because bridges are few and far kind of down here. When you're up in Connecticut, you've got all these, rivers and tributaries and creeks that you can go to. So, and these storms down in South Florida, they come up from nowhere. And I've even heard of stories of guys out fishing, beautiful sunny day, and their fishing rod would get struck by lightning. And the whole fiberglass core of the fishing rod blows up right on the boat.
Smokes.
So you got to be careful. People have to be careful, whether you're out under a bridge or out just in a field. Be aware of the storms and the surroundings around you. And if they say take cover, that definitely means take cover.
Yeah, especially if you're in a boat. One of the scariest times I ever had in a boat was we were down in Isla Mirada. We were one of my favorite fishing spots, Alligator Rock, I think is what it's called. It's been so long since I've been down there. But we would use that as a reference point, and not very far away from that is where the reef begins to drop. And we were drifting. We'd go out, we'd head out east across the deep part, and then head back west across the drop and fish across the drop. And we did that several times, 4 or 5 times, I guess. This one time, as we were getting closer to the lighthouse, I noticed that I felt the hair on my, what little I have, on my arms and the hair on my head beginning, just that feeling when you feel static, and it was getting stronger and stronger. And I told my brother and my dad, who were with me at the time, I said, pick up your lines, we're leaving. We picked up the lines. No sooner than I got the boat moving, lightning struck the lighthouse. And oh my gosh, you think you've heard explosions before. When you're that close to it, you don't even hear, all you hear is the crack, boom. There is no crack and then a couple of seconds later a boom. It is crack, boom, right off the bat. You know you were right there. It was amazing. Unfortunately, we didn't suffer anything, but it was very hair-raising in more ways, literally in more ways than one. I think we have Robert on. Good morning, Robert.
And I don't really know what is the real protocol. If you and I'll have to check that out and let our listeners know. If you were out on open water and there's a thunderstorm, I asked this question the other day: is it better to throw the anchor out and hide under the helm, or is it better to try and outrun the storm and get into a safe port with dangerous seas? What do you think, Riscala? I don't know the answer. There was
this particular day that I'm telling you about, there was no thunderhead. This was like out of it wasn't, the skies weren't blue, clear blue. You could see it building up, but it was far away from us. So the idea that you have to be under these thunderheads and stuff for it to have lightning is not true. They can be miles and miles away. The static still builds up. To me, I would run. I think a moving target's harder to hit than a sitting target. And if you're out in the ocean and you're the only thing around, believe it or not, you're the highest point. And electricity typically takes the easiest way out. So if you're higher than everything else around, the odds of you being hit go up. If you,
right.
So I would run if possible. There have been times when it gets so rough so quick you can't run. You don't have a choice, and you can't see where you're going. It's raining so hard you don't know which way you're going. Anyway, I think I have Robert on. Robert, are you there?
I am.
There. Good morning, sir. Let me let Carolyn say good morning to you.
How's everybody?
Good. Good morning, Robert. How you doing today?
Excellent.
Did you do any fishing, Robert?
No, I'm leaving for the Keys, though. My birthday is June 23rd. I'm going to stop and watch Carolyn paddle off if they're still doing that.
Oh, my.
And then head for the Keys.
Wow.
Are they still doing that, Carolyn?
Absolutely. I'm glad you asked. They did, for the safety of all of the CF, cystic fibrosis warriors, they postponed it until next June. But we are still fundraising now, and we're still doing, paddling and virtual get-togethers. They thought it was just a little too dangerous to get at least 500 people together in close circumstance. So disappointing, Robert, but it was the right move.
Well, I won't be stopping to see Carolyn on that. I'm just heading for the Keys then. So.
Thanks, Robert.
Oh, I had completely forgot about that. Forgive me. My goodness, yes. That was, I know that's disappointing, but you're right. It's probably for the best for everybody. And it just gives you that much more time to tell that many more people about what's going on. And while let's take a minute and tell the people, what are we talking about?
We are talking for the Crossing for Cystic Fibrosis. It is a 80-mile paddle from the Bahamas back to Florida to raise money and awareness for cystic fibrosis. Last year, there were 200 paddlers, 80 support boats, 500 people in total that did this event. I signed up with my team of breast cancer survivors and 2 sisters with cystic fibrosis ourselves, and it would probably, as a relay paddle, take us about 16 hours starting at midnight in the dark, leaving the Bahamas over open ocean.
Now that is what I call commitment.
That's an adventure.
That is definitely commitment. So leaving at midnight and then paddling for hours and hours and hours in order to stand for what's the word I'm looking for? A cause that is a cause that is well worthy. The people who suffer from these cystic fibrosis, I've only known of one person in my life that had it, and it was terribly painful for this individual. And unfortunately, in their particular case, the only way they could be happy was to be so drugged up that they weren't coherent. Other than that, when the times that they were coherent, they were in tremendous pain. It's a horrible, horrible disease. So to bring awareness and possibly something to help in treatment of the disease, God bless you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. You know what's amazing is Travis Sood is the father of Piper. Piper's the local girl here, and the first time he did it was just 4 guys, 1 boat. He just wanted to do it in 2013 and just raise a little awareness. He is such a motivational guy. He has now got 200 people following him. and 80 boats, and people are donating their time and their gas and their fuel. It's just amazing how people, go around this gentleman and how he just motivates everybody to just get together as a team. He's an amazing man.
Wow. Well, many thanks to Travis for what he's done, and it just goes to show how one person can make a difference. If they're passionate and they are committed, they can make a big difference. Look at that. From what'd you say it started and when?
4 people did it, and then he restarted the event in 2017. And I've been involved with my trackers since day one, 2017, to make sure we could track the boats and make sure that overnight the paddlers are safe, and if there's any breakdowns, we could find them. And now it's a huge momentum in an event that everybody goes to. It's worldwide. We've got people coming in from Ireland that guest paddle,
wow.
Also cystic fibrosis folks. So stay tuned next year, everybody. It's an amazing event, but go to Crossing for a Cure. It's an amazing. There's amazing video there of the past events. Crossing
for a Cure. I saw one of those, a short video. It was very moving. They come in off of their boards, and they ring a bell or something, right? A gong. I remember they run up and hit something, and after that they're welcomed. They're hugged and welcomed, and forget the social distancing. They're welcomed deeply.
It doesn't go well with social distancing. It doesn't sound like that.
Robert,
absolutely.
How is the magazine, Robert? Florida Fisherman magazine, by the way.
Magazine is doing very well. This issue has been very well received, so being shared a lot. Last time I looked, it had been viewed somewhere in the vicinity of 52,000 times. So.
Oh my goodness! Congratulations! Great.
So it's getting there. It normally gets to about 100,000 or 70,000 or 80,000, somewhere in that area.
Wow.
It's getting there.
All right. Well,
it's time to start working on the next one. So
we want to make sure that people know if you have something that you want to send in and it falls along the guidelines, well, Robert will consider putting you in the magazine. How do they do that, Robert?
Absolutely. Just send them anything you've got to pages@flfishmag.com. The magazine is at www.flfishmag.com. But if you're sending stuff, just send it to pages@flfishmag.com. And we'll get it, and we'll check it out and see if it'll work.
Yeah, it's a digital...
And just so everybody knows, I don't do hunting stories in there very often. The exception would be probably Pamela Ann Dolan, who runs African safaris for fishing and hunting. I put her stuff in there a lot, but other than that, we don't do hunting stories. I get a lot of those sent in, and it's a fishing magazine. Hunting's great. I appreciate it, but we don't do that. So.
Yeah, well, we have our parts that we fill, and I'm sure there's other people that fill the hunting part. And we do the fishing part.
That is correct.
All right, Robert, thank you so much for taking time to share with us this morning. I greatly appreciate it. I'll let Carolyn say goodbye, and we'll go to a break. Wish you an awesome day, regardless of the weather, my friend.
You too.
Absolutely, Robert. Have a good time bike riding if you're out at the park.
We will be headed there shortly.
Tight line.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Scala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers. But that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped. Even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion. Air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclubb.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
Want to give your pet the celebrity treatment? Have you heard of Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care in Royal Palm Beach? They're located just off State Road 7 and have been servicing the area for 14 years. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care is the home of the Blueberry Facial, also specializing in tartar removal with 8 years of assisting in dental procedures. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care? They're more than just about dogs. They are the only experienced cat groomer in the area. They also cater to all breeds and sizes and open 6 days a week. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care, located just north of the Super Walmart in Royal Palm Beach. You can find them at 250 Business Parkway. They specialize in shampoos with no extra charge. Flea and tick dips also available. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. You can give them a call at 561-793-9992. They also provide gift certificates for those looking for that special present. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. 561-793-9992. They're located in Royal Palm Beach. That number, 561-793-9992. Call for your appointment today.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We have ignition. Strap in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on when the sun shines all day.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
I've set up on the Fishing in Florida Show on Facebook. You just go by there and you'll see a link to all of our archives. A big thank you to all of you who join us every Sunday morning. It is an honor and a privilege to have you with us. I want to say a big thank you to our home network, WCET FM 101.7 out of Columbia. That is our home network. You can find us there. Again, you can go to www.wcetfm.com and you can find us there. You can listen to, oh my gosh, we have so much stuff. You just have to go to see. HighPoint Radio, 1690 AM out of New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. A big thank you to you guys. We appreciate it. KYAH 540, they play our show. I think they replay our show is what they do, but a big thank you to you for doing that. Marina Rock Radio, our latest affiliate, they're out of Miami. They are the TuneIn station, so you can find us on the TuneIn app. If you have the TuneIn app and you go to Marina Rock Radio, you can tune us in on Sunday mornings from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And, of course, a big thank you to my co-host, Carolyn. And what I like to say about Carolyn is that if you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to my friend Carolyn over there at Atlas Trax. Welcome back, Carolyn. Thank you. When you first start talking, I don't know what's happening. When you first start talking, you're kind of muffled up, and then after the first word or two, you're fine. I don't know what's causing that problem. But I think I have Paul Fleming on now. Paul is with Black Label Marine. Let me see if this is Paul. Welcome, Paul. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well, my friend. Let me give Carolyn an opportunity to say good morning.
Hi, good morning, Paul. I'm happy to have you on the show.
Carolyn, good morning. Good morning.
So, Paul, any latest and greatest, any fishing reports you can give us?
Well, I'll tell you, the fishing over here on the Gulf Coast with Tampa has just been on fire. I mean, everything from inshore redfish to trout, flounder. I mean, everything has just been on fire. And obviously, all of our Gulf Coast guys are really excited for Thursday because Thursday opens up our 45 days worth of American red snapper.
Ooh,
so,
nice.
Yeah. Yeah, the service industry has been extremely busy right now with everybody gearing their boats up and getting ready to go in that offshore hunt for American red snapper, which, generally we've only gotten there. A couple of weeks, but we actually get 45 days this season, so that's a plus.
That's a real treasure there. Now, how is it with regard to places opening up, boat ramps and things of that nature, parks and stuff like that?
So for us over here in the in the Tampa area, Gulf Coast, nothing really ever shut down. Our southern county in Manatee for a while was shut down, but our area here, Pinellas and North, nothing really. Ramps never really shut down. Boating was kind of one of the only things you could really do. While everybody was shut down during the COVID pandemic, and oddly enough, boat sales during that time, when you thought would have gone way down, actually went the opposite direction, and it went way up because obviously the only thing you could do is either take a walk in the park or go out and go fishing and enjoy the boating life. And I don't think anybody wanted to go for walks.
We were not allowed that opportunity here. They shut the boat ramps down. They shut the parks down. I think things are opening back up again. From what I understand, it's a limited number of boat ramps that are open now in Palm Beach County. Carolyn, if you know, jump in and let me know. The beaches are limited. We're still not open per se, and it is quite frustrating to see. People have been locked up forever, and we want to get out. We want to enjoy our freedom again, and in some cases, it's quite frustrating. So I'm glad to hear that it wasn't that case over there. Now, if I have my info right, you are with Black Label Marine.
That is correct. Yeah, we've and again we've been. It's been crazy how busy we have been, during during the height of the pandemic, sales was shut down, but we were able to keep service open, to kind of keep boats moving. But since they have started phase one reopening, and I know you guys, over in South Florida, Palm Beach and Broward counties, you guys had a huge impact down there. So I know that's why you guys have been tightened up a bit more than the rest of the state. Yeah. Because my parents actually live in Broward County.
Oh, okay.
And so it's one of those things where unfortunately you guys got hit harder. But yeah, we've been able to stay open with service and kind of keep boats moving. And now during phase one, we're back into the full swing of boat sales, and it's crazy. It's unbelievable the amount of boat sales we've been averaging 12 to 14 boat deliveries a week.
Holy smokes.
Yeah,
that's surprising.
It really is. And then on top of that, we have an unbelievable service schedule to fulfill as well, because obviously with the upcoming red snapper season, and gag grouper just opened up for us here June 1st, so everybody's been trying to get out on the water to go do those fishing excursions and just kind of get out of the house. And of course this weekend's been kind of a bust for everybody in Florida. It's like one big massive rain cloud over us, but
Yeah.
next week should be better.
Yeah, today, according to the radar, there's not very many places you're going to be able to go in this state where you're not going to get rained on. That's just the way
correct.
it is. That's just
It
Paul,
is.
can you tell us what the boat lines you handle over at Black Label?
The boat lines we have, we are the largest Sea Fox dealer in the United States. We also sell Camus boats, which are your Highline bay boats, and then we are also a Fountain and Crown Line dealer as well, and Jupiters as well.
The boats that you're averaging a dozen a week or so. What's the average size of those boats?
Believe it or not, we've had a few of our bay boats. But most of the boats that we've been shipping out are 32, 36, 38-foot boats. We've got a 34 Jupiter that's delivering on Wednesday this week. So
Wow.
I mean, there are a lot of big boats going out.
That
I'm
is
talking,
surprising.
I mean, I'm talking 30. Our flagship Sea Fox 368 with 400s and Seakeepers, and these things are just loaded to the gills, and we can't. The hardest part right now is that I can't get new boats from the factory fast enough. I mean,
That's
our lot
crazy.
almost looks like we're getting ready to go out of business.
That is crazy. Wow. That I just can't imagine that. I lost my train of thought now. I had a question on Carolyn, cover for me. I can't remember what I was going to ask you.
You know what? I talked to Paul about a week and a half ago, and a funny thing happened. He was actually delivering one of the boats. Paul has one of my trackers for personal use as well, and he was able to pop his tracker off of his boat, take it on the delivery run with the client, and the client liked it so much they ended up keeping it. But it was just a real fun phone call to have because the customer got to see their boat moving around on their sea trial. So that was a fun thing to do.
I remember what I was going to ask him. What is the largest, I don't know if this is the correct word, trailerable boat that you can put on a trailer?
So, every state has their own DOT transportation rules against it. Once you start getting a boat that's a beam of 10 feet, at that point, there's permits that are, start to have to get involved. 9 times out of 10, most people, most law enforcement agencies won't bother the private user. But if you're a dealership or you've got a logo on the side of your truck, your risk factor goes up. If you're trailering down to the Keys and you have a boat that is over 10 feet, there are special permits and there are certain times of the day that you are allowed to travel, even if you are a private user. When we fish a lot of tournaments, there's certain times, our guys with 38-foot yellowfins and 38-foot fountains and, all of those bigger boats, they can only travel during certain hours of the day to get down to Key West to go do their tournaments.
Wow. Has that been going? I used to go down there. At the time, I had a 24-foot, I had a smaller boat, a 24-foot Wellcraft. And my favorite spot was Isla Mirada. We would go down to Isla Mirada and drop off down there. But there was never any restriction. Of course, this is a long time, 30 years ago.
Well, a 24-foot boat, you're never going to exceed that 10-foot. I mean, if you have a 24-foot boat that's 10-foot wide,
it's a box.
It's going to be an oddly looking shaped boat, that's for sure.
Yeah. So what you're talking about?
So the restrictions there aren't as bad, but it's once you get into those the 36 to 38-foot range is when you start to break that 10-foot beam.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you start having your restrictions.
I see. Yeah. I never, because it was, you were saying you have to travel a certain time, but I'm going, oh my gosh, I don't remember ever having. So I was below that. So this is what you're talking about is primarily people who are 10 foot and above in a beam on a boat. Those are the people that these restrictions are applying to.
Correct. Yeah, and like if you are, the crazy thing is if you're traveling through different states, like we would go and we would travel with a 38-foot Intrepid from Florida up to Ocean City, Maryland to go fish the White Marlin Open. And when you come out of South Carolina into North Carolina, our boat was 10 foot, had a 10-foot two beam. So we would actually have to pull off to the side of the road, and we would actually have to put flags and an oversized load sign on it, and we had to pull a permit for North Carolina for that time period that we would be traveling through there. And then once we got through, once you get past North Carolina, they actually don't want you to have the wide load sign. So you'd have to pull back off the road again, and you have to take all your wide load signs down and all your stuff. So it's just one of those things. I mean, it's one of those things where if you're traveling from state, especially from state to state, you really need to know their DOT laws. If you've got a boat that's, has a 10-foot or wider beam. As long as you're in that 8-foot beam, you're good. So
typically,
any boat with an 8-foot beam, you're good.
A boat that has a 10-foot beam, what would be the shortest length of that boat?
That's going to put you in the 36 to 38 foot range.
That's a
Most
big
of
boat.
those boats, I mean, you can still have a 36 or 38 foot boat with an 8-foot beam. But the majority of the boat manufacturers now, if you're in that 36 to 38 foot range, you are at that cusp of possibly being in that 10-foot or larger beam.
Wow. Well, I certainly learned a whole bunch right there. My gosh, I had no idea. Well, of course, I never was exposed to. I never had my own vessel that was that wide, so I'm glad in a way, because I would have never known about half of this stuff. I guess and this is kind of a silly question, but I'm a curious kind of guy. I guess if I were to come in and I were to purchase one of these boats, you would tell me about all this stuff, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, and again, the majority of those 36 to 38 foot boats, 90% of that clientele is not purchasing a trailer with it because they're either keeping it at a marina or they're keeping it on a lift behind their house.
True. Yeah.
Not a lot, there's just not a lot of the normal consumer that buys a boat that big that's going to trailer it.
Mm-hmm.
It's those crazy nut offshore fishing tournament guys like myself that like to go all over the place and burn a bunch of fuel and go chase fish that have to worry about that kind of thing. So.
Well, Paul, this is what happens when we're having a good time. The time has flown by and I'm out. I've got to get to a break and on to the next guest. I want to give Carolyn an opportunity to say goodbye. But before I do that, I want to thank you greatly for a load of information today from you. Thank you so much for taking the time to call in and share with us. I greatly appreciate that. I'm looking forward to having you back on sometime in the future and giving us updates. In the meantime, I'm going to give Carolyn an opportunity to say goodbye to you, and then we're going to go to a break. Thank you again.
Absolutely, Paul. If someone wants to get a hold of you and talk about some boats, how can they get a hold of you on your phone number?
They can reach us at 727-793-1413 gets me directly, and teamblmg.com gets us on the web.
Lines.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Scala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers. But that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Being a dad is an adventure full of special moments.
A cruise?
Right!
Unexpected moments.
I got this.
And even awkward moments.
Okay, Dad, thank you.
But every moment you spend with your kids, even the smallest moments, can make the biggest impact on your child's life. So take a moment to be a dad today.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped. Even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion. Air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on when the sun shines all day. It just caught me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah, fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is the Fishing in Florida Show. Good morning if you're just joining us. We welcome you. Thank you for taking the time to listen in. A big thank you to all of our affiliates out there who help us get the word out, so to speak. Our home station, which is WCET FM. HighPoint Radio out of New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, KYAH 540 out of Utah, and our latest Marina Rock Radio, which happens to be a tune-in station, by the way. So if you have the tune-in app, go to Marina Rock, and you can find us that way. If you don't have that and you're not on Marina Rock, you can go to our Facebook page and click on Contact Us. That's another way you can listen to us. You can go to our home network, which is www.wcetfm.com, and listen to us there as well. And the latest and greatest is by Wednesday or Thursday, I think, of this week, we will have the app ready. It's a free download. There are no commercials. There's no push notifications. There's none of that stuff. We're not going to spy on you. It is a basic, very, very, very basic application, and it allows you to listen to the network, anything that's going on the network. So if you happen to turn it on at 8 o'clock in the morning on Sunday morning, then you'll have us. Anyway, let me welcome back my co-host, who is Carolyn. She's with Atlas Trax. If you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to my friend Carolyn over there at Atlas Trax. Welcome back, my dear.
Yes, absolutely, and good morning to all our listeners.
And my next guest, Trae West. Trae is with Big Dog Tackle. Welcome, Trae. Thank you for taking time to call in, my friend.
Hey, good morning. How you guys doing?
Hey, good morning, Trae. Trae got to sleep in a little today, hopefully.
Not usually, but I'm always ready to be on your show. I mean, you guys do a great job.
God bless you. I appreciate that. So, you know, I know you have the tackle shop. How is things going retail-wise? How are you doing there?
Fortunately, on the fishing side, I think a lot of things have not been open for a while. So.
Yeah.
Most people haven't had much to do besides go boating and fishing. And typically when you think about going boating or fishing, you know, you're usually with your family, people that you're with every day, or maybe even a couple of close friends that you're probably in contact with every day. So the social distancing is, you know, I mean, it's pretty much normal. Their expectations are when you're boating and fishing. I mean, you have the case of, you know, rafting up and, you know, a lot of people going outside the rule. But, you know, for the most part, people that I know, typically family boaters or a couple of close friends that are fishing. So the store has been pretty steady even up till now with customers and clientele. I think based on those reasons.
And Big Dog Tackle is where? Fort Lauderdale?
We are in Pompano Beach, right close to Hidden Harbor Aqua Marina and the 14th Street boat ramp.
And do you know, is the boat ramp open, the public boat ramps?
Yeah, the boat ramps have been open for a while now.
Good.
And, yeah, they're very busy, too.
Pompano is...
long lines at the boat ramps.
Pompano is Broward, right? Broward County?
Correct.
I think there are still places here in Palm Beach, I may be mistaken, but I think there's places here where not all the boat ramps are open. Some of them, for whatever reason, some of them are still not open, as well as the beaches. Some of the beaches they're open, but they're very restricted. So I'm looking forward to the day where we have full access to all this stuff again. I'm glad to hear that you were not affected as deeply as some of the other people have been affected. So can you tell us anything about fishing going on? Any fishing reports you can share with us?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. The fishing offshore has been very good. Springtime fishing, April, May is always typically the best months to be out there because we have mahi starts showing up. The tuna bite is always pretty hot, and we still have the sailfish in town, and we still have a little bit of a wahoo bite. And actually, this past week with the full moon, a little before and a little after, it seems like the wahoo bite was pretty hot. And then if you go a little further offshore, the swordfish bite always seems to be pretty good right before the full moon and sometimes right after the full moon. So we've seen some nice fish being caught. I don't know if you guys saw that 183-pound yellowfin tuna weighed in at Hillsborough Marina, but that was a pretty nice fish. That's a rare catch down here.
Wow. How big was that again?
Yeah, so the
100
183 pounds.
And where did they catch it at?
They caught it outside of Hillsborough Inlet.
Oh, so they weren't really far out.
They were on light tackle, 20-pound test.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Yeah, Carolyn might have heard about this one, but they were on the fish for about 4.5 hours. They called a buddy of theirs to come out, who was a diver. He ended up diving down and spearing it so they could get it up.
Wow. That's amazing.
I did not hear that, Trae. That would have been amazing footage underwater.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I wonder if they got video of that.
I'm not sure, but there are some pictures out there.
Wow. Carolyn, there's your homework. Find out who that was.
Yeah, absolutely. And go get some of those steaks. Oh, my goodness.
Oh,
and,
wow.
you know, and I have to tell you, Trae, I stopped by the store not too long ago, and you guys did a great job of shuffling people in and out. Nicole was there, you know, keeping everybody safe. And I'm really glad that you guys are doing well.
Yeah, throughout the process, we tried to maintain all the distancing rules, letting 1 or 2 people in at a time. So, you know, we've tried to maintain that standard, and then the masks as well. So, you know, trying to adhere by the rules, and, you know, not just for, you know, even though some people don't think that they're going to be affected, but we're more concerned about affecting other people, which is more important. So, you know, trying to wear the mask, trying to stay 6 feet apart, and we wipe everything down.
Did you guys fish a tournament last weekend? Weren't you out fishing the tournament? I saw some photos on Facebook.
Oh, we didn't fish last weekend, but it was the weekend before. We fished the Meat Mayhem, one of Jimmy Wickett's tournaments, which was phenomenal. He ended up putting a barge in the Hillsborough Inlet for the weigh-in because the cities would not authorize a permit for a weigh-in on land. So he ended up having a little over 60 boats. And the process with the weigh-in, I thought it was going to be super busy, but it was amazingly organized and very efficient. And I was really impressed with how they organized that tournament. It was great.
Wow.
What'd you guys do?
We caught the 3rd biggest fish of the tournament, which ended up getting us a check enough to pay for our expenses, which is always a plus in tournament fishing.
Yeah.
What size fish?
Yeah. It was a 37.5-pound kingfish.
Oh, my. We had...
Congratulations. That's great.
I think, what was it? Robert was telling us? Who was telling us this morning they caught or was it you, Carolyn? A 60-some-odd pound kingfish? Was that you, Carolyn?
the folks were out of Pompano Beach. Young Guns, Trae, in the Meat Mayhem series up in St. Augustine, got a 60-pound-plus kingfish yesterday, I think.
Oh, my God.
I saw that. That was a sea monster for sure.
I just can't envision something like that in my mind. What's that thing? Probably about 6 feet long?
You see there's 4 guys holding it up.
Oh, my
you know what I'll do,
goodness.
Rascala? I'll post that up on our Facebook page so our listeners can see what a 60-pound kingfish looks like.
Yeah, please. That would be great. I can't imagine this thing's got to be huge. It's got to be huge. My gosh. Trae, what is the most popular bait that you have?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of popular baits. It depends on what type of fishing you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have a lot of people that troll. So trolling is always the sea witch with the bonita strip. You know, some people use a single hook or a double hook, and being that bonita are pretty prevalent, you can either buy bonita strips, or if you catch a bonita, you can always catch your own bait and cut your own bait.
Mm-hmm.
So that seems to be one of the most popular setups. You can fish that on the surface, or you can fish it on a planer to get down underneath to try to bring the fish up.
Do you find
So that's all
you're kind of fading in and out? Do you find a popular color? Sea witches used to come in colors. I haven't bought them in years, but
yeah. So popular colors, the most popular colors for the sea witches, and even skirts on ballyhoo and things like that, tend to be the blue and white or the pink and white.
Pink and white.
Angelia. Not to say that those are.
Angelia would support the pink one, I'm sure. Angelia is one of our regulars that calls in. She's down in the Keys, but she helps design, and she makes her own lures, as a matter of fact. And I think pink was one of her, if I remember correct, pink was one of her favorite colors, and people laughed at her. Pink, because you're a girl. That's why. No, it works.
Yeah, they say pink and white gets tight.
Go ahead, Carolyn.
I was going to say, and Angelia, she knows. She's out there fishing almost every day on her hydrosport.
Yeah. I thought that was funny. Oh, my. All right. Well, we're slowly running out of time, but I've got a couple of minutes left. So let's tell the people, where are you located? What's the address?
Yeah, so we're in Pompano Beach at 1440 North Federal Highway, right by the 14th Street boat ramp.
And if they...
So your hours, you're 6 a.m.?
Yep, we're open from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and then we close early on Sunday at 6 p.m., which isn't that early, but we have pretty good hours for the fishermen. We try to cater to the early guys that get up early to get out there early, and we provide everything from deep drop-in to trolling, all the frozen bait you pretty much need, and all the lures, leaders, rigging, terminal tackle, and then we spool reels. We do just about everything that a tackle store does.
Oh, what?
Are you doing reel repairs, things like that as well?
We do. We do rod repairs and reel repairs.
Perfect, full service.
Spooling reels, that right there is a lifesaver. I don't care how many times I do it.
Sometimes guys bring in 20 reels and we spool them all up for them, and
wow.
There's no extra charge. We just charge for the line.
Wow, that's great. That's great, because it's a nightmare for me when I'm spooling silly thing. If I don't get the right tension on it, and then I go to cast and go bring it back in, oh my gosh, what a nightmare. So to have somebody offer that service right there is my hands up. Yeah, I'll take it. Sorry. Absolutely. That's great. Do you have a website?
We do. It's www.bigdogtackle.com.
Cool.
Awesome. And Facebook page, Big Dog Tackle as well.
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, Big Dog Tackle. Actually, you can, if you follow us on either one of those, you'll see all of our events that come up. We do a lot of seminars. Lately, we've been doing them on Zoom, Facebook Live, and Instagram Live. We almost have a full studio now in the store because of, the virus situation that we've had to do everything virtual.
That's interesting. So the seminars are for particular kind of, if you're going after particular species or just general?
Yeah, so what we do is we get local captains, typically, and for example, the most recent one was on terminal tackle. So how to tie knots, how to rig certain types of rigs,
wow.
What baits to use with different types of terminal tackle. And it's very, very hands-on with the cameras. We can zoom in, tying the actual knots and showing the actual hooks and the rigs and the leaders.
In some ways, that's a greater advantage than being there in person because, people try to bend over and look and they may obstruct your view of whatever it is you're trying to see. When you got one camera and it's zooming right in and you're able to see what's going on, I think in some ways that's better than being there in person.
And Riscala, what's great is I participated in all of the seminars, and you can actually text or call in your questions, and then Nicole will relay them to Trae, and Trae will tell the host or the guest what we'd like to see. So it is interactive. You can just ask questions at any time you want, and they'll answer your questions right on the Zoom network. But there's been at least 50 people logged on at any one time, I think.
Oh yeah, there's probably 50 people on each. I guess virtual method, whether it's 50, like at least 50 on Instagram, 50 on Facebook Live, and 50 on Zoom, sometimes 70 on Zoom.
Wow. How does somebody get involved, and how do you see one of these things?
Yeah, well, if you just follow us on Instagram or Facebook, or if you're a customer at the store, we have a rewards program where the emails and everything are saved. So we send email blasts in addition to our social media posts. And then what there's a link that tells you what to click on, and it'll open up the Zoom app, and you can watch live right there.
Wow. That's something that I think would be very interesting for a lot of people, especially on a day. I know you probably don't do it on days like today, but especially on a day like today where nobody's going to be doing any fishing today, that nobody's saying anyway. That I know is going to be out there fishing. So it would be a great day to have a seminar, a webinar, if you will. And again, I like the idea.
When you mention that, what's pretty neat is that the videos are recorded, so you can go back and watch them later.
Oh wow! So you archive them as well. That's great.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. This is what happens when we're having a good time and information is flowing freely. We run out of time. Thank you so much, Trae. I greatly appreciate it. Trae West with Big Dog Tackle. Let me give Carolyn an opportunity to say goodbye to you. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll move on. Thanks again, Trae. Wish you an awesome day, my friend.
Yes, you too. Thank you.
Awesome having you on the show. Say hi to Nicole, and hope to have you back real soon.
Will do. Thanks, Carolyn. Thanks, guys. You guys do a fantastic job every week.
God bless, my friend.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Riscala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Riscala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped, even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion: air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road. You will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclub.com. That's www.susanclub.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Club. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
GTG, BRB, OMW, be there in a few. You may think that these kinds of texts are fine because of their length, and you can easily send them at a stoplight. But no, answering one text can take your attention away from the road for 5 seconds. And traveling at 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Make good decisions, don't text and drive.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on when the sun shines all day. But they call me a grouper, 'cause I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah, fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. Good morning to you. Thank you for taking time to join us. It is the Fishing in Florida Show. I am your host, Riscala. And this morning I have Carolyn with Atlas Trax with me. Before I get to Carolyn, real quickly, I want to say thank you to our home network, WCET FM. Thank you to HighPoint Radio, 1690. Thank you to KYAH, 540 AM, and a big thank you to Marina Rock Radio, our latest affiliate. They are down out of Miami, and they happen to be a tune-in station, so if you have the tune-in app, you can find us there. We have our app ready. It will supposed to be in the stores Wednesday or Thursday this coming week. It's free to download. There are no commercials. There are no push notifications. Just simply an app to listen to our network. So anything that is on the network, which is a whole line of shows, you can listen to. Again, it's free, and the part I like to impress on people is that there's no commercials, there's no push notifications, none of that stuff. No, we're not going to spy on you like some of these guys do. All it does is allows you a different way to listen to the network. It's a link to our live streamer is what it is, really, what it boils down to. Anyway, let me welcome Carolyn back. Carolyn is with Atlas Trax, and my little saying for Carolyn is if you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to Carolyn over there at Atlas Trax. Welcome back, Miss Carolyn.
Good morning again, Riscala, and to all the listeners this Sunday.
I want to give you the opportunity to introduce our next guest, Amy, and tell us a bit about her.
I would love to. So I met Amy. Amy owns Ocean Blue Graphics, another woman-owned business. She is the go-to girl for any fishing team shirts and promotional items. And I was introduced to her through Real Captivating, which is who Mike Simcoe fishes a lot of the tournaments with. So Amy actually designed our breast cancer fishing team logo for the Atlas Trax Ladies Fishing Team and got us all the gear we needed to go to Costa Rica, including an embroidered duffel bag with each one of our names on. So wow. I have a real appreciation for what Amy does.
So welcome, Amy, to the Fishing in Florida Show. What an awesome!
Oh, thank you.
What an awesome pleasure it is to have you on.
Yes, thank you very much. Good morning.
How long
have you been, Amy.
How long have you
Good
been
morning,
doing
Carolyn.
what you've been doing?
I'm sorry?
How long have you been doing what you've been doing?
Oh, it's been at least 20 years.
Oh, my goodness.
We are screen printers and embroiderers. We do specialize in the marine graphics, and we are full service. We do everything from T-shirts to sweatshirts to hats and visors. And it's not the only thing we do. It's marine graphics, but we are very good at it.
So, you mentioned a couple of things. You said screen, and then you said embroider. So, for those who are not familiar with what is screen printing?
So most of the T-shirts that you get, that you probably have in your closet, have a screen printing on it, or you go to a concert and you get one of those T-shirts. It's where we take the ink and actually apply it to the T-shirt. That's screen printing. So we take your boat graphic, your Marina logo, your whatever it is, tournament design, and we actually apply the graphic design to the T-shirt using a screen print method.
And then, of course, embroidery. Most people know what embroidering is. And what is the most common application for embroidery? Is it caps, fishing hats, or is it shirts?
Yes. Yes, so we do a lot of hats, a lot of visors, polos, which are great because a lot of these fishing yachts like to wear the polos either on board or if they go out to dinner at night. We can embroider blankets, towels, almost anything that is a product that we can put on the machine and actually put your logo on it in an embroidered fashion with thread.
When someone... Go ahead, Carolyn.
I was going to say what's really amazing about Amy's shop is they do everything from the design to the production, and they have sewing machines there that are all run by computer. So they put a whole assembly line, if you can imagine, of sewing machines. It's a pretty impressive facility.
That's pretty cool. Is it a facility that people can walk into, Amy, or is it
Yes.
closed off?
Yes, we are open to the public. We do have 7,000 square feet. We do all of the production in-house. I have a showroom. Usually, like to have people call in advance so that I am prepared. But we are open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
And people want to reach you. I know most likely you have a website. Oh, yes, she has a website, Rascala. Wake up. It's oceanbluegraphics.com. You can reach her there. And what is the address?
We are in Riviera Beach. We are 1841 West 10th Street, suite number 1. And that is in Riviera Beach, 33404.
Okay, so just make sure you give her a call before you go by. But I think it's awesome that
thank you so much
that you have this.
So
available.
how would a team, a new fishing team, they come to you, they say, hey, we don't really know what we want. What's the process from start to finish, usually in timeline, and how do you pick designing things for fishing folks? Because I know you've got some amazing T-shirts that are out there with, again, real captivating. Some of the other new boats that are coming there. You're like the go-to girl for this kind of stuff.
Oh, thank you, Carolyn. Yeah, so if they come to me, I immediately try to assess what they're looking for, what kind of design they want. We put it together. It takes usually anywhere from a week, sometimes to 2 weeks, depending on how much drawing is involved in the graphics. And then at that point, it's just a matter of getting them into production. We can have shirts, hats, visors ready for a team as soon as a week, and sometimes as long as 2-3 weeks, just depending on the size of the order or what they're looking for.
And speaking of orders, Amy, what would be the minimum order that somebody could have?
It really depends on what they're ordering. Shirts, we like to have anywhere from 24 to 72 pieces as a minimum.
Mm-hmm.
We can mix and match that to get to those minimums. For embroidery, it's usually just 12 pieces. Promotional products, it just depends on what it is we're doing, like koozies or napkins or cups or things like that. Really just depends on the graphic. A lot of that stuff can have minimums anywhere from 24 up to 100 pieces.
Now, Carolyn mentioned promotional items. So putting the embroidery and the screen printing aside, is there anything else that you're doing as well?
Yes, so we do all promotional products. If you want cups, Yeti cups engraved, Tervis cups, if you want some of those, just cups that you can throw away that have your design on it. Koozies are huge, of course, beer koozies, flat koozies, napkins, cutting boards, all kinds of promotional products that, that can really get your logo out there.
I know it's not fishing related, but I'm just curious. I'm a curious guy. I ask curious questions. Do you do weddings and stuff like that?
I have, actually. I've done koozies, napkins, cups, stuff like that for weddings. I have,
Because when you said napkins, that came to mind. That's what the first thing that came to mind, is something like that. Wow. That's great. And so you provide...
And the commitment that Amy has to her business is very similar to the commitment I have to mine. When she produced the items I needed for the Los Sueños tournament, she actually Ubered them to me the same day. That's, I think, the day before we were catching a flight. So it was amazing, and I wanted to thank you for that, Amy.
Absolutely. I'm totally 100% committed to what I do, and I love what I do. So I think that makes a big difference.
Yeah, and it's a small business, and it's woman-owned. There's a lot of positives. I always, whenever possible, I try to choose because I'm a small business owner, and I know what it takes to keep a small business going.
Yeah, especially in these times right now.
Yeah, especially with what's going on. Have you seen a drastic change in your business?
I would say that March and April were extremely slow. I've never been that slow in the 20 years I've been doing this. But right now we are busy. Everything is really starting to open up again. And, of course, once the Bahamas opens and all these other places open and the boats get to leave, I'm sure they're going to need all their gear.
You have you been fishing any time lately?
No, I have not.
You haven't?
I'm stuck in the office.
I was going to ask you.
You get to hear all the fish stories when people come in and buy shirts and design shirts.
Oh, I hear some great ones too. Yeah.
I was going to ask you about. There goes my mind again. I tell you,
that's okay. Amy also made us our shirts for Blue Water Babes for Real Captivating, and that was a surprise gift for the ladies that Wayne, who owns Real Captivating, did for us. Mm-hmm. So, Rascal, that was just an amazing thing. So she's involved, locally in restaurants also. She does a lot of shirts for local restaurants. Yeah. Hopefully, they'll be picking up as well.
Oh, that's a good point for a restaurant, because I do like some of the local restaurants, again, typically locally owned, I guess. I don't think the big franchise guys, because I'm sure the franchise guys cover everything, even down to the toilet paper. But the locally owned, again, we're talking about locally owned businesses. This is the time now more than ever. And I'm not just speaking because I'm because generally speaking, I don't deal with the public. I deal with other businesses, and many of the businesses I deal with are small family-owned businesses. So I just want to express to people out there, this is the time now more than ever that we need to reach out to small businesses for whatever services that they can offer to you. Now is the time to do that, more than ever before, especially who we are. And our history has shown us that when we pull together, we can accomplish anything. And earlier on, we talked about, who was it that started the Cross for the Cure thing, Carolyn?
Travis Crossing for Cystic Fibrosis.
We spoke about how one person made a huge difference. Well, each one of us can make a huge difference. If we work together, we can make a really huge difference. So when you're thinking about, going to the tackle store, think about Big Dog Tackle. When you're thinking about, if you're over on the West Coast and you're thinking about something to do with a boat, go over there and talk to Paul at Black Label Marine. You're thinking about something, you're on a fishing team, even for businesses or maybe even family reunions, right, Amy? You could do family.
Yep, that's right.
That kind of thing. I see a lot of that. Here's a place that you can go, a small family-owned woman-owned business. That speaks volumes to me. It's extremely difficult for women to stay in business nowadays. Unfortunately, the sad truth is business, much like the fishing industry, which is changing, thank you God, but fishing has been predominantly men, and it has changed considerably. I got to say that, but that's the way it's been. And unfortunately, in business, for women, it's much more difficult than it is for a man. That, unfortunately, is the truth. So anything that we can do to support women, small-owned women business, my gosh, there's no. I've said this many times before. There's no question about the data. When you spend money with a small company, a locally owned company, on average, over 60 cents of every dollar that you spend goes back to the community somehow, one way, shape, or form. When you spend it with a large corporation, it's about 40 cents. So there's a big difference there, and there's a big advantage. When you're dealing with a small company, you're helping somebody literally put food on the table. You're not helping them buy a second or third or fourth home like some of these big corporations do. You're actually helping a family either put a child through school or college, put food on the table, put a roof over their head. This is why I tell people, when you become a customer with a small family-owned business, you become part of their family because you are part of helping to support their family. So any way that I can, I always support family-owned businesses, and women have a priority because I know women have a difficult time in that area. So anything we can do to help you out, Amy, I'm there for you, my dear.
And
Well,
you know
thank
what's
you.
really exciting too? You mentioned family business. Amy's husband's involved, so they do work together, and you know it is truly a family business.
It is, yeah, and my brother-in-law. Yeah, it's all in the family.
And it's experience. 20 years says a lot. I've been in business for 24, and my experience says a lot about me. This is what little business I have left. This is what gets me my business, and one of the biggest factors of getting me my business, because I'm also in a service business, and they have to rely on my expertise in order to make sure that what I do performs properly so that they can continue with their business. They would have to rely on Amy's expertise in order to be able to get what they want, so that the end result looks like what they want, something that puts a smile on their face, something that impresses somebody else. That's what I see when I think about somebody who's been doing something for 20 years in the same business over and over again. You know about, I'm sure you have a whole wide variety of different kinds of T-shirts that people can choose from, right?
Yes, I have a whole showroom jam-packed with all kinds of good stuff. Carolyn can attest to that as well.
So it's not just, I'll go down to the store and I can buy a T-shirt cheaper than I can get it over at Amy's. It's you go there and you have a wide variety of T-shirts, and she can tell you, well, this one is, this is a better quality one than this one. This is the advantage of having this one is better than that. Things you can get an education from somebody like Amy that you're not going to go to Walmart and get, for God's sake, and you'll never even get close to it. She can explain to you why you would want to use one type of shirt over another depending upon the application that you have. Mm-hmm. So, again, for me, the experience speaks loads. Go ahead.
I was just saying the most soothing thing for me was when I had no idea what I wanted my logo to be, and I was under time constraint, I totally threw it in Amy's hands and said, I want a pink ribbon and I want a mermaid on a hook, and figure out how you want to do it. And within a couple of drafts back and forth, she had perfect what I needed. And I went in there with flailing arms, not having any idea what the heck I needed or what I was supposed to buy. And she did everything. Short sleeve shirts, long sleeve shirts, T-shirts, embroidered bags. She did everything for us to look like a professional team.
Wow. Well, Amy, I wish you well, my dear. I'm sad that you had you're suffering like I have. This last 90 days has been really for business-wise, a nightmare for us, for many of us small businesses. And there is light at the end of the tunnel. It appears to be anyway. We are seeing an uptrend, generally speaking, because I am involved with, my service involves other small businesses. So I'm in touch with a lot of other small businesses, and they are seeing an uptrend. So hopefully this continues. I don't know that we'll ever get back to normal after experiencing what we've experienced, but hopefully we'll get to somewhere close to that again, where life begins to resemble something like before all of this started. I wish you well. Thank you for taking the time to share with us today. I'm going to give Carolyn an opportunity to say goodbye to you, and then we're going to go to a break. Thanks again, Amy. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for calling in, and I'll get with you this week. Hopefully we can work together and do a little networking as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
All righty, here we go.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Rascala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Club, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Club has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclub.com. That's www.susanclub.com. www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
GTG, BRB, OMW, be there in a few. You may think that these kinds of texts are fine because of their length, and you can easily send them at a stoplight. But no, answering one text can take your attention away from the road for 5 seconds. And traveling at 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Make good decisions, don't text and drive.
Have you ever heard of Audible? Audible is a website with hundreds of thousands of audiobooks. They're all high quality, easy to listen to, and, best of all, if you take advantage of a special deal that we've worked out for you, you can get one for free. That's right, a free audiobook of your choice in any genre, simply by going to audibletrial.com/openeyes and signing up for the free trial. It's simple to do, and it would support the shows that we bring to you, and hey, you get a free book out of the whole thing. So why not take advantage of it today? Go to audibletrial.com/openeyes and sign up for the trial.
Being a dad is an adventure full of special moments.
A cruise?
Surprise! Unexpected moments.
I got this.
And even awkward moments.
Okay, Dad, thank you.
But every moment you spend with your kids, even the smallest moments, can make the biggest impact on your child's life. So take a moment to be a dad today.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing it for and on. When the sun shines all day. It just calls me a grouper. So I'm fishing it for and on. Oh yeah. Fishing it for and on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is the Fishing in Florida Show. Good morning, and thank you for taking the time to share with us this morning. I greatly appreciate it. It is truly an honor and privilege to have you listen in. This morning I have Carolyn with me. Carolyn is with Atlas Trax, and my motto for Carolyn is, if you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to my friend over there at Atlas Trax. How you doing, my dear?
Oh, I'm doing great, Riscala. During the break, I ran outside real quick. It looks like a little brightening in the sky, but we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well, according to the map, according to the Wonder Map, as it's called, it's just everywhere. It's still... it's just still everywhere, and North Florida is still getting pounded really, really hard. So it doesn't look like a day that's going to be an outdoors day, per se, but there's plenty of other things we can do. And if you're one of those who are truly committed to go fishing, you can do what I used to do. Go find yourself a bridge and go fish under the bridge. But as I look at the radar, it really hasn't changed in the last hour or so. It has lightened up a little bit in our area, but there's still a lot of activity going on, and it looks like activity coming in still. It looks like it's moving in from the, if this thing will move, it looks like it's coming in from the west. Is it coming in from, yeah, it's coming in from the west to the east, northeast it looks like. So later on in the day, it looks like we're going to get even more as the day goes on. It looks like there's more headed our way. Again, North Florida is just getting pounded with some very serious weather up there. It's going to be interesting to see what comes out in the news on that. I was looking for Carol to call in, but I don't think she's called in yet. So we'll talk a little bit about when you said you had called Amy and asked her for something pink with a hook and a mermaid, right? Uh-oh. Are you there?
When you called in for Amy? Yeah, I'm here. You asked a question about Amy?
Yeah, when you were saying, I was looking for Carol. Carol hasn't called in yet, so I wanted to share. When you were saying you had called Amy and told her you needed something that was pink with a hook and a mermaid, that she took over the whole project for you, and came out with an end product. The reason for that was our next guest, who is Carol Strickland. She is with Mermaid Vodka. Hopefully we'll get her to call in here in just a second. But is that what it was for? It was for Mermaid Vodka?
It was yeah, and we actually got permission from Carol to use her Mermaid Vodka logo, and we overlaid it over a beautiful pink ribbon, and that became our team logo. Your listeners might not know, myself and Carol are thrivers with breast cancer, and we put together our ladies team, fishing team. And we are a traveling team. We fish donated boats, and we're very lucky to be invited to Costa Rica to fish a second annual ladies billfish tournament in January, right before all of this COVID. And Amy was instrumental in making us look not like a team and not the Bad News Bears. So, it was pretty nice that she put together duffel bags. We walked the docks. We looked professional. She made shirts for the boys that went with us, the men. So we all traveled as a team, and it was pretty amazing that we looked and felt so good.
Excellent. Well, I think we're going to have Carolyn on here in just a moment. Between the two of you, I can't keep my tongue straight. I think we will have Carol on here. And you see how quickly, if you say it quickly, Carolyn, it sounds like Carolyn. But I think we'll have Carol on. Looks like we have Carol on now. Hello there, Carol.
Good morning, Riscala. Is Carolyn on there, too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Carol.
Hi, how are you?
Good to see you, Sarah.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening, Carolyn. When the first word or so, that when you start talking, occasionally it kind of distorts out. I don't know why that's happening.
Well, I'll find a better location. But Carol, I was saying I miss seeing you. It's been a couple months since we fished together.
I know. It seems like it's been years. I was just looking at some social media, and I see Laura from Fish Tank is coming back to the States from Costa Rica. So I was thinking about yesterday, I was remembering very fondly our trip and our tournament that we fished together in Costa Rica. And we fished against Fish Tank. And wow, they are a real powerhouse. What a dynamo. That lady can fish.
Carol, we just had Amy on right before you, and we were talking how she designed our logo with the Mermaid Vodka logo and geared us up so we look professional for that trip. And so it's great to have you on right after that. I mean, she really made us look professional.
Yeah, what a follow-up.
Yeah, no doubt. She did a great job. And I mean, it was just a great tournament. We had logos out. We looked uniform. I mean, I think I definitely would say safely we were one of the best put together teams there. And that's important. When you're fishing as a team, you want to look like a team. And we have great sponsors with Atlas Trax and Mermaid Vodka. So we want to make sure we represent our sponsors as well and give them the credit for giving us the ability to get out there and fish.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt that you're beautiful from the inside out, too.
Why, thank you.
We definitely made a statement there. They let us do a lot of interviews about our cause. Carol was the star of the tournament. I don't know how many sailfish and blue marlin she got, but we pushed her to the rod every time a fish hit because she was on fire that day.
Were you sore the next day?
No, I really wasn't. Actually, when we arrived in Costa Rica, I was sick. I mean, really sick. I had been up north for meetings, and I knew when I got on the plane in Miami, I wasn't feeling well. And of course, now people would probably beat me to death for saying that, but I'm sorry. And I did stay away from people. Carolyn can tell you, I wouldn't hug anyone. I wouldn't go near anyone. So, but yeah, I wasn't feeling well to begin with, and I really think being out on the deck of the boat, and it was 90 degrees out. I mean, it was hot, and we were all just very hot, and everybody on the team stayed on the deck of the boat, watched the rods. I mean, it really was a great team effort. So I think, I was too under the weather to feel any soreness or pain from maybe some muscle tightness that I might have had, but we really had the benefit of a great crew, and I think being out in the sun just really helped.
I agree.
Helped get me through it.
Yeah,
lay in bed when you don't feel well, or you can go out in the sun and at least do something you truly love and enjoy. And that's what we did. And Carolyn and the rest of the girls on the team were just super about it. And yeah, we pulled through, didn't we, Carolyn?
We absolutely did. And Rascala, here's a funny story I never even told you, and I'd love to share it with the listeners. We had 4 men with us, so we were allowed to bring dates on the boat, and they were getting so worked up and loud when fish were hitting that the mate and the captain made them go inside the boat and stay inside the entire day.
That was so funny. They were locked inside. We felt bad at the end of the day, but it had to happen. I mean, we were on the deck of a very wide beam boat, so we needed to hear what the mates were saying, and they were just so excited for us. And
I could see
usually
you.
it's the other way around, but yeah, we were serious. We had our game faces on, and that tournament proved to us that we could compete at that level, because we were leading for a good portion of the day, and we dropped down into second. And then, a few other teams really got on some fish, and it pushed us down a little bit. But we were still very proud of the way we finished. But our guys were a little miserable at the end of the day. We had to take them out that night and let them run around.
Yeah, and they came off the boat at the end of the day a little drunk, because they had nothing else to do but look out the window.
I can see the mommy in you coming out. You, get in there. We got stuff to do. Get in there.
It wasn't even us. It was the fish mate that told them, the lead fish mate told the boys to go inside. So they were like, oh boy.
Yeah, but let's be honest here. They had a very luxurious cabin to spend the day in. I mean,
cool.
Maverick boat was tremendous. I mean, just as beautifully appointed as it was functional and performed. And they were inside in the lap of luxury, drinking Mermaid vodka and beer. So they were
rough
okay.
life.
We took care.
What a rough life.
We were on a 50-foot sport fish donated by the owner, Will Drost of Maverick Sport Fishing. So that was a really fun thing. We finished 5th out of 19 boats, which I am so proud of us. Fishing in an IGFA tournament with tournament rules, and had an observer, Rascala, on the boat. So he actually would be the one to say if the fish was a legal catch. So it was a real legitimate tournament. We did amazing.
Do you think they're going to have that tournament again this summer? We're already in the summer.
I would say yes. It's a January tournament. We fished the second annual. There were probably 200 women and 19 or 20 boats. So I think I think it's going to catch on, and I definitely think it's a good pre-fishing tournament for the guys, because immediately after the ladies' day is 3 days of fishing for what's called the Triple Crown. 3 days for 3 months in a row. So it's a pretty big deal.
Wow. I just shocked myself. It's summer. Holy smokes, it's actually summer. I swear, I don't know about you, but the last 90 days are just a blur to me, just complete blur. And now I'm like waking up out of this slumber. I'm going, holy moly, man. 3 months have passed. We're in summer. Holy moly. Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, my gosh.
Carol, have you done any fishing? I saw some snook pictures.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that seems like that was forever ago as well. Memorial weekend, we went down to Marathon.
Oh, cool.
We took the boat. Now, normally we're on a 32 World Cat, but the boat sold. So we picked up a little 23 World Cat that I swear it was bigger than 23 feet. Those boats are amazing, by the way. And we put in at the Rod and Gun Club because it was a shorter ride by boat down to our house in Marathon. So we put in there, and we didn't fish our way down just because we wanted to get there. But once we got there, I don't know if you remember, Memorial Weekend was a little rainy.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not the fair weather types, and we went out Saturday in 3 to 5 foot and driving rain, and we were going to go out to Marathon Hump, but that was really a bit far to go considering what we were dealing with weather-wise, and truthfully did not see another boat out there. the whole time. Nothing. Not a sport fish. Nothing went past us, near us, or within eyesight.
So, Carol, do we file that under committed, or do we file it under insane?
We file that under needs to be committed, as in insane. Yes. But we were fortunate. We got out there and we got a good spot, and we trolled around, and we got some nice dolphin.
Wow.
15, 20-pound dolphin, and a wahoo came out of nowhere. We got a nice wahoo in the boat, and by the time we started going back in at the end of the day, we were quite pleased and happy. So we decided, like most insane people, to do it again the next day, because the conditions were actually a little bit worse.
Oh my gosh.
So we went back out the next day again. I think we might have saw one boat that day, and they came out and turned around and went back in. But we stayed out there, and we found a nice group of birds that really helped us, because for a few hours there it was looking pretty bleak in terms of getting anything. But we stayed out there and still managed to, again, to get some nice dolphin in the boat, and a nice fatty blackfin tuna, a little chubby football. So we got that in, and we were really happy. I mean, there's nothing like going out and fishing in conditions like that and coming back with fish.
Yeah.
And being able to have some fresh sashimi and some fish on the grill. We were pleased. And then, like Carolyn said, I sent her the snook picture, because that is by far my all-time favorite fish to catch. So on the way back, we fished our way back up through the backwaters in the Gulf and got into some really nice snook. And unfortunately, some shark came with it. So we got sharked a couple times. One time I was actually standing in knee-deep water, and a rather large bull shark decided he wanted to check me out.
Oh, wow.
So, oh, yeah. And just moments before, I had gotten snagged on a submerged tree limb. And I didn't even think I had a snook on at that point. I thought I just snagged myself retrieving the bait. And sure enough, I was reaching down in the water, and there was a snook on the line. So naturally, untangle, catch it, great, release it. But it reminded me a few minutes later, when the bull shark was literally inches from my leg, that that shark could have been coming up around to get that snook when I was reaching down there. Yeah, I decided to fish from inside the boat at that point.
Very wise move.
Yeah. Those bull sharks and lemon sharks, they do not mess around.
They're not good history behind them, particularly with humans. They are known to attack humans for no reason at all, just to attack. They're not. People think of the great white shark. I tell you what, I'm more concerned with the bull sharks than I am with some of these great white sharks. They seem to have a little more mercy, if you will. But the bull sharks, it's like, don't want to be around them at all, any way, shape, or form. All right, my dear. We have flat run out of time. This is what happens when we're having a good time. Thank you so much for taking time to call in and share with us. I greatly appreciate it. I want to give Carolyn an opportunity to say goodbye to you, and we're going to go to a break. Thank you so much, Carol.
Yeah. Absolutely, Carol. Can you tell folks how to get a hold of you for Mermaid Vodka?
Absolutely. You can find us on social media at Mermaid Vodka. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and then, of course, our website, mermaidvodkausa.com. Thanks, Carolyn. Love you, girl.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Scala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped. Even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion. Air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, Give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclub.com. That's www.susanclub.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
GTG, BRB, OMW, be there in a few. You may think that these kinds of texts are fine because of their length, and you can easily send them at a stoplight. But no, answering one text can take your attention away from the road for 5 seconds. And traveling at 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Make good decisions, don't text and drive.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on when the sun shines all day. I just caught me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah, fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is the final segment of the Fishing in Florida Show. I am your host, Riscala. Welcome. If you're just joining us, we will eventually, I have to laugh because I'm having such a hard time with this, we will have archives set up. I've been having a very difficult time with the software that I use. And I think I'm just going to have to end up rebuilding my computer in order to get everything working correctly again. It's going to be a very tedious task, and I just don't want to do it right now. But eventually we will have archives set up on, if you go to our Facebook page, that's Fishing in Florida on the Facebook page, give us a like while you're there. That helps us remain relevant in the searches, and then you'll see links there as well to the Fishing in Florida show. On YouTube is where all of the links are at. But haven't figured out how to be able to find us on YouTube. Putting in Fishing in Florida, you come up with a bazillion different things, and we're probably the last one. So the easiest way is to use the links that are on Facebook presently. Another way you can find us is if you go to our home station, our home network, if you will, which is www.wcetfm.com. They are 101.7 out of South Carolina. And you can, if you go to the website, you can listen to us there. We have a player there. The easiest way is going to be coming up in this next week, hopefully, prayerfully. We will have the app ready, and you can download the app. It's absolutely free. There is no commercials in the app. There's no push notifications in the app. It is simple. It's straightforward. All it does is it allows you to listen to our network at any time that you want. You download the app, you hit the play button. That's you can't get any simpler than that. When you're done using the app, you hit the stop button, and the app goes away. Made sure that I worked with a developer. I wanted something very, very simple. I wanted something that would use a very minimal amount of the resources on the device that it was going to be installed on. And I didn't want commercials. I didn't want push notifications. Didn't want any of that stuff. I just want to give people the opportunity to listen to the network, and hopefully they can listen to our show as well. So that will be available, I think, Wednesday or Thursday of this coming week. It will be listed under our home network, WCET. It will either be WCET FM or it will be WCET. And that'll be the easiest of all the ways to listen to us. So let me welcome back my co-host, Carolyn. Carolyn is with Atlas Trax. If you want to protect what you love to the max, got to talk to my friend Carolyn over there at Atlas Trax. Welcome back, my dear.
Good morning again, Rascala. And I kind of looking at our schedule. We kind of have ladies' hour coming the last hour of the show.
This is true. Yeah. My next guest is the one and only Angelia, the Florida Salty Cowgirl out of the Keys, whom I'm going to miss. But I hope she'll be calling in from time to time because she's got a big gig going on. How you doing, my friend?
Very, very well, thank you. How's everyone this morning?
Angelia?
Yeah,
hey there.
You're fading again, Carolyn. I don't know if it's you or me or it's the board, but it seems to be predominantly with you. So I'm thinking it's kind of you. Anyway, Angelia, what's the latest and greatest?
Well, the latest and greatest on fishing down here is last weekend I hunted and hunted and hunted and hunted for mahi, and it just wasn't going to happen. So I salvaged my weekend by going out to the Islamorada hump and doing some vertical jigging and jigged up some real nice tuna. But, man, I tell you what, the mahi were just elusive down here last weekend. And this entire week, because of that lovely hurricane that was brewing up in Mexico and is now hitting the panhandle right about now. But I have a firm belief that when that barometric pressure drops with a big storm like that coming in, that the fish just don't bite as well. And I'm a firm believer in that. So I'm hoping that was the cause. We've had kind of an overcast, muggy, hot week. I think yesterday our feels like down here with an overcast sky, no sun out, and not raining, just muggy. Our feels like temp was like 96 degrees. And in the meantime, I'm making stacks of quilted vests and jackets and knee-high rubber boots and jeans. And so it's kind of funny to me. I'm in a feels like of 96. It's so muggy. You feel like you walk out to a hot blanket. But yeah, I'm putting together all my warm clothes for my weather switch here real quick. But yeah, this week was not a great week to fish down here. Overcast and breezy and you know, a little rainy, and just that stupid hurricane really came through like that crazy. But hopefully this week will be nice again. In fact, I've got some plans this week to be out on the Gulf Coast off of Clearwater Beach there.
Ooh.
And do some red snapper fishing. It opens on the 11th. So anybody who wants to get their red snapper on, please get out there this week. Yeah.
We had, I'm trying to think of who that was. Paul. I think it was Paul. He's on the West Coast and said the snapper season is opening up. Now, you said the hurricane. You know, it didn't even occur to me because I gave a radar report earlier today, and I said the panhandle of Florida is being hammered. I didn't realize that's what that is. Oh, my gosh.
That's Hurricane Cristobal. And poor Mexico, it just sat over Mexico for days. I mean, it literally did not move. But in the meantime, since we were on that east side of it, and we were actually northeast of it at that point.
That's the worst place to be.
Rain and rain and wind and rain. Yeah. And it just seemed not to move for days. But I'm like I said, I'm a firm believer. If anybody, any mariners out there that pay attention to the barometric pressure, boy, that was a tongue twister. But if any mariners that do pay attention to the barometric pressure, when that pressure drops 3 or 4 points in a day or two, the fish just don't seem to want to bite. They know that storm is coming through way before we do. They can feel that barometric pressure. So I'm a firm believer when they know that one of those storms is coming and that barometric pressure drops, they just don't want to bite. And it brought in a bunch of rain and cloudy skies, but nothing but just heat down here. If it's
wow.
You know, beginning of June, and it's a feels like of 96. July and August are going to be hot ones, at least for everybody here.
You're not going to have to worry about that.
No, I'm looking at highs in the 50s and lows in the low 40s and a lot of rain, and I still don't care. I'm so excited I could just jump up and down. Like I said,
I'm happy for you.
I'm in 96. Yeah, I'm in 96-degree weather, packing up all my warm stuff. So.
You know,
the warmest of my warm stuff.
In a situation like that, I might be able, because I'm horrible with cold. When I was in the Air Force, they put me in Denver, and I was there for, I don't recall, I think it was 12 or 14 weeks. The only saving grace for me was knowing that I wasn't going to, and not that it wasn't beautiful, it was absolutely gorgeous. It was some of the most beautiful scenery I've ever seen in my life, but I just could not deal with the cold. And the only saving grace was knowing that I'm leaving soon. If I had to live there,
knowing that there's a time limit on it, it's not so bad. Knowing that you're coming, I used to tease all last summer that I needed to go home to Florida in the winter to get warm. But when knowing that there's a time limit on it makes it not so bad. And then, like you said, the absolute stunning scenery that I'm going to be surrounded by also makes it not too bad. And then anyone who knows me at all knows that my adrenaline just flows when fish are hitting the deck. Man, all you need is a 100-pound halibut to come up, and my adrenaline's pumping so hard, I don't care what temperature it is.
all they have to do is look at a picture of you and see that smile, ear-to-ear smile. You can see
It's undeniable, isn't it?
Yeah. Wow.
It gives me sheer pleasure and joy. And where I'll be fishing this summer is a little bit different. It's closer to what they call the halibut capital of the world, which is in Homer. And we'll be fishing some of the same waters outside of Homer. So I'm really hoping that one giant one I posted from last year, I'm hoping that that's kind of the norm this year. So I'm really excited. I'm ready. We're also going for, we do combo trips when we're up there, and we're doing halibut, salmon, and rockfish. And I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but because the fishing season recreationally was basically shut down the first half of the season because of the quarantine and all, they've made the limits on the fish much more liberal for the second half of the season. So as opposed to being able to catch 2 halibut your entire visit to Alaska as a non-resident, now you're allowed to keep 2 halibut per day, and the size limits are a little bit more liberal as well.
Wow.
So so that's kind of nice that at least they're letting everybody kind of make up for not being able to fish the first couple of months. So that's exciting as well. I can't wait to see after a 3-day long-range trip how long it takes us to clean all the darn fish. I've been sharpening that knife. I'm ready to go. But
that's a very good question. What kind of gear do you need to bring to be a transplanted captain and crew in Alaska?
Well, I've used the same exact fillet knife for 20-some years now, probably 25 years. Oh, yeah. And this knife has been everywhere and been through it all. I've even fished it out of the water and the whole 9 yards.
Wow.
But I am very, very, very fond of my fillet knife. So I bring my own knife. I don't think you're able to work a deck on a boat without a pair of pliers on your hip. And I wear a lot of gloves because I don't like my hands all torn up from the fish. And knee-high rubber boots, Carolyn, you absolutely live in up there. And the most important thing is that captain's license in my bag.
There you go.
Good point. Yeah, basically, my own knives and my own little gadgets. I take a personal locator beacon from ACR Techs everywhere I go, and I'll mention them because they were very, very kind to me. They gave me a pro staff discount, which is very nice. And anybody who does spend any time at all out on the water like that, they really should have a personal locator beacon on them. Not only do we have one on the boat, but I'll have one on my person as well. I keep joking with my family. I say, at least that way you can track the orca that I'm in their belly and find my body.
Oh my God.
But it's really very simple. Really, the clothing is your biggest worry. And, you want to have good dry wear, good foul weather gear. And luckily I had a 4-month run up there last summer. So I packed 2 giant bags when I went up there last summer, and I really could have gotten away with 1. I didn't know what to expect, so I didn't know what to pack.
Wow.
So this year's a lot more streamlined. I know what I need to pack. I know what I need to get together, and I should be able to pack all that in one bag and take off.
That's what experience does for you. Anyway, we're totally out of time at this point.
When you're up there for 3 months, you stay on a boat or in a house?
Last summer, I was on a yacht half of the summer, and then I spent like a month in the middle of the summer at a fish camp working for the same charter business that I'll be working for this summer. So I was really super blessed.
All right, guys, we're out of time. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time to listen. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, Miss Angelia. Wish you well. Talk to you in a week.